Hi, I'm Deb Finch, and I am glad to be a part of the LaFountain Community Hometown Museum. I am a 4-H leader here in Liberty Township and in LaFountain. This is my 11th year, so I felt like it was an important part of the LaFountain history. The club that I have, Future Farmers, I was a member of, and my father was leader at one time. So we knew we had a lot of information to share, and I've been to the Extension office and gotten a lot of good information from them, but I got a lot of good information from my parents as well. One of the first things that I want to start with is Fashion Review and the Clothing Project. My theme for the display was to do generations. We have had 3 generations in our family who have been in 4-H, and that is the way with a lot of families in the county. So I thought it was a good representation of a lot of 4-H families. My mother was in Fashion Review and Clothing, and I was as well, and so have my daughters been. So the first thing that I came up with was something that represented each of those 3 generations. And the first one is one that my mother did. Her name is Janice Cooper Dawes, and her 10th year, her last year in 4-H, she made her wedding dress, which is right here. She did win. The judging was in July. The fair wasn't until August, so they were married after the judging but before the fair. So in the Fashion Review, they convinced my dad to walk down the aisle with her for the Fashion Review, which was something that I don't think has ever been done since, and probably was the first time it had been done even then. The second garment we have is mine, and that was in the mid-70s. I think it was 1974. This was a formal I made, and I did wear it to a Valentine dance at Southwood High School. And then the third item is a dress that my youngest daughter, Abby Finch, made in her 4-H years, and she did get to take this to State Fair in Fashion Review. The fourth item is what my oldest daughter, Jessica Finch, made in her 3rd year, and she also got to go to State Fair in that. Then the next item is not handmade, but my sister Kathy was in Horse and Pony. She did not like all of the homemaking type projects, and she loved to be outdoors and with the animals. So she took the Horse and Pony project, and this is one of her outfits when she was younger. Then the 5th item is a 4-H leader jacket that was George and Juanita Rapps. They were both 4-H leaders for many years in our community, so this they provided to us. Then we have several items on the table here. I have brought scrapbooks for each of the 3 generations. My mom's 4-H scrapbook is here, and I left my father's at home, but his was quite complex as well. And one of the things that they had then was rural youth, which we do not have for this generation or for my generation. And so we each have a scrapbook sharing bits and pieces of what it was like. One of the interesting things I think that I wanted to share was I did find my parents' project books. I found out my mother and father did baking. I think Dad only did it for 2 or 3 years. The boys did even then at that time. This is the baking record book. So, and then I found her food preservation record book. So what I did then was find my food preservation and food baking record sheets, and then my daughter's, one of theirs, so that I had represented 3 different eras of what 4-H was like in that particular project, as well as for the swine project, the dairy project, which is over here, which is a big part of my family. My father was raised on a dairy farm and had heifers at the fair, and then my brother started a dairy, and he and Dad are dairy farmers, and so each of our generations have had Holstein dairy at the fair, and all of the 7 grandkids have done that. My mom also won Fashion Review at the State Fair, and both of my daughters have been able to go to the State Fair. So this is Mom's plaque from there, and then my daughter's, one of the daughter's plaques. The other thing I wanted to share with you is that my father was in swine, and he won at the county and then went to State Fair and won down there with his spotted Poland China gilt. And then, lo and behold, in 2002, my oldest daughter Jessica won championship gilt at the Wabash County Fair. So all of these items kind of portray the idea that 4-H is a generational thing, and it is a very strong program here in Wabash County, and it's a very important part of our community. And one family learns, or one part of the family learns from the next. And so we hope that that's a program and a organization that continues to flourish here in Wabash County.